the Chief Secretary to the Prime Minister, Darren Jones, joins us now. Great to have you on the programme. I mean, this literally happened, I should say, like 5 minutes before you kind of walked into the studio, so we appreciate the fast pace of this, yes. Is one way of putting it. It's an extraordinary post by Donald Trump. Are United Kingdom currently planning to give away the island of Diego Garcia, the site of a vital US military base, to Mauritius for no reason whatsoever? He says it's an act of total weakness, it's an act of great stupidity. What's your reaction?
Look, we've gone around this quite a lot already. We've secured the islands there as a military base for the next 100 years. We're just about finishing off the legislative process in Parliament to enable that to happen. And I think, as your colleague alluded to, this was a deal that was welcomed at the time by the American administration, but also by European allies and others, given its strategic significance in the world. We were in a tricky spot in that the island was previously part of the British Empire. There were legal challenges to the island and those types of things. And so we needed to find a modern application to protect its military capabilities, which we all rely on, which is what we've done.
So no way this changes the Chagos deal?
We've done a deal with the Mauritian government. We've legislated for the process. We've agreed the terms of the treaty, which has been signed.
So it's done?
This is the way in which to secure that military base for the next 100 years.
I mean, Donald Trump's linking it to Greenland. He says it's another in a very long line of national security reasons why Greenland has to be acquired. I mean, if it was him saying, look, if you cancel the Chagos deal, I'll back off from Greenland, is that something this government would ever consider?
I can't give a running commentary on hypotheticals. We have to deal with the situations as they unfold. But the thing that we and the Americans agree on is that security in the north and around the Arctic is increasingly important as those ice caps melt back and Russia militarization on its borders and China being able to come over the top in the way it hasn't done in the past. And so the debate that we're having is what can we do as NATO to strengthen our military capabilities in the north? And that's the type of conversation we're having with the Americans.
I mean, it's a very kind of... You're answering in a very diplomatic way, which I guess reflects what Keir Starmer was doing yesterday. He said he wanted calm discussions between allies on Greenland. Mm-hmm. You have to ask, I mean, how are those calm discussions going when Donald Trump is talking about, the UK committing an act of great stupidity and that China and Russia have noticed as act of total weakness?
Well, all I'd say is
it's not going well, is it? I mean...
Well, I mean, look at the successes. And I say that seriously because in the past, I mean, Keir Starmer's been criticised for not tweeting or shouting or kind of banging the table and calling the president names, as other world leaders have. Actually, the approach that he and the government have taken, serious British diplomatic skill, has resulted in the UK being better off than any other country in the world in the face of changes to the American
Just to come in, because that is absolutely not what I'm saying here, right? What I'm saying here is Keir Starmer made a deliberate decision yesterday to not impose retaliatory tariffs, to not cancel the King's visit. These are actual things that he's chosen to do, a path that he's chosen to take in. And as a result, Donald Trump has called you out, basically, saying it's an act of great stupidity, of total weakness. I mean, you have to ask, if Vladimir Putin was talking the same way as Donald Trump about going in and acquiring a land by military force if necessary, we wouldn't be talking about calm discussions, would we?
Well, the difference is that the United States is an ally. Our economy and our military and security capabilities are intertwined. We have to protect British interests.
Is it still an ally? I mean, look at what he's saying here.
Absolutely.
This is the new world. It feels like sometimes you're playing the old way.
No, look, so there's a political dialogue here. But look, I'm responsible with the Prime Minister for coordinating national security across government, and I can tell you that every single day with the Americans and our other Five Eyes partners around the world, that military and security cooperation continues and is really, really important to British security and our global interests. So we have to deal with the political challenges in the debate, of course. We still think that proper British diplomacy is the way to deal with that. We're very good at that, actually, as a country. That's paid off in the past, and that's how we're going to keep playing it in the future.
Why isn't the PM in Davos?
The Prime Minister's always got lots of challenges on his time. The Chancellor is in Davos, the Business Secretary is in Davos. Davos is predominantly a place to talk about the economy and business investment.
Donald Trump's there, isn't he? I mean...
Sure,
and
probably
other things
and the Prime Minister has been a number of times before, but, you know, the Prime Minister's always got lots of things to trade off in his diary, but some of our most senior cabinet colleagues are in Davos, which I think is fine.
It's another interview where it's just, you know, dominated by world affairs. It's hard to escape, let's be completely honest. But there is some very important government announcements that I do want to talk about as well domestically, particularly this consultation on banning social media for under 16s. I was just going to ask, you know, not your... If you take off your kind of Darren Jones representative of the government line to takes hat and put on your kind of Darren Jones father hat, what's your own view on banning social media?
I think all parents worry about some of the impacts of social media and technology on their kids. I mean, that's, I think, pretty well understood. My kids are too little at the moment, but I intend to keep them away from it for as long as possible, quite frankly. And so it's right that we have a conversation with parents and young people and also the tech companies and others to try to understand the impacts on children's well-being. Now, we've already got powers in the Online Safety Act. There's already things that are in place, but there's clearly, I think, what are called addictive features built into some of these apps that keep bringing kids back and back and back.
Do you think Keir Starmer's kind of moved on this a bit? Has he kind of been kind of prized away from the tech bros by his own MPs?
No, I don't think there's a political play in here. I mean, there was a debate previously about basically blocking young people from accessing a load of stuff on their phones. The Prime Minister's talked to Anthony Albanese in Australia about that, where they've had the ban. The Prime Minister worried that if you did that, you might block off the access that young people have to news content on social media apps and those types of things where they need to understand what's going on in the world. But he's never questioned the fact that we should do everything we can to protect young people's well-being. And essentially, that's what this national conversation is going to be about.
Just finally as well, there's been reports this week you think Wes Streeting should be sacked for disloyalty. Times quoting one source, these briefings are carefully calculated to damage Wes and the Prime Minister in order to advance his, as in your, own leadership ambitions.
It's total nonsense. Look, someone tried this story a couple of weeks ago when someone thought it was a good idea to brief against Wes in the first place, and it didn't land, and they've had a second go, and it must have been a slow news day. Wes Streeting knows that it's got nothing to do with me, as do all of my colleagues, and whoever is spending their time kind of briefing out these stories, they should either get on with the job or get out.
OK, thank you very much indeed, Darren Jones.